remember what slope is from past experiences? There's a whole bunch of different ways to talk about slope. When you go skiing on slopes. What does slope refer to? Well, slope is a bunch of different ways to talk about it. It's the rise over the run. It is the how far up something goes over how far over it goes. Okay, if you remember back in the day, last year, I don't know if we've done this much this year, I'm sure we've done it a little bit, when you would have a line and you tried to figure out the slope, what did you have to do? Remember, you had to find a couple points where it crossed X and Y lines, make a right angle, and you would count how high it is and make a fraction over how wide the thing was. Let me see, I think I've got an example over there somewhere here. Where is it? Here it is, right here. I'll do one. I don't think you need. So you've got this thing here. When we did slope, you would find 2 points that actually intersect in the grid somewhere. What is the slope of this triangle? Wow. If this is your right triangle, and it has to be a right triangle, what is the slope of this thing? Well, it is 2 high, if you count it from here to here, over 1 wide. The other thing you have to worry about is it positive slope or negative slope? Yeah, positive slope. Where are we at? I think it's something here. Make sure you got that down. That slope going this way is positive slope from left to right. Going that way is negative slope. Now, with that being said, not always are you going to have to count things. There is a formula for slope. Write this down. The formula. And by the way, slope in math a lot of times is the letter M. M is what we use for slope. And the slope is, because it is how far up something is, okay, really what it is the change in Y over the change in X. And just because you kids are smart, in math, anytime you see the little triangle symbol, they call it the delta. It's delta Y. Delta just means change over delta X. But none of that means anything to you because here is what it is. Written out, I should rewrite it somewhere instead of on the page. M equals Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. If you are given, this linear equation in, what form is this? Slope-intercept form. You already know the slope because the slope is given to you. The slope is 2/3, correct? Remember, that's why in slope-intercept form, the generic form is y equals mx plus b. M is slope. But with this formula, you are looking for it when they give you 2 points. Let's say you've got these 2 points. Let's say you've got 2, 3 and -1, 4. You don't want to every time have to draw a rectangular coordinate system and plot the 2 points. There's 2, 3. Here's -1, 4. You don't want to have to draw this line and do all the counting and all the blah 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 with your triangle there, even though you could do it there. You can just fill these 2 points into this slope formula. Okay? The first points are always the x points, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is x, and this is x, this is y, and this is y. Now listen to me carefully. It doesn't matter which ones you call these little sub-2's, they don't mean squared or anything like that, they're just labels. I can call this x1 as long as I call this y1. They have to go together. The ones have to go together and the 2's have to go together. I could call this x2 as long as I call this y2 and that x1 and that y1. It doesn't matter as long as you group the same ones together. You'll get the same answer no matter what you do on that. But you can't call this x1 and call that y2. You can't mix the ones and the 2's. Each group has to be its thing. So when you have that, let me show you. And again, I warn you as I do all the time, I would write parentheses with these. Slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I labeled this as my 2's, so here's my y2, y2, y2. Doesn't that look like a good one? Okay, this is my x2, oh, I'm sorry, this is my x2. My y1, I called this my y1, so it's 3. And my x1 is 2. All 4 points are put right there. Then you just do the math. What's 4 minus 3? 1. What's negative 1 minus 2 is? Negative 3. So my slope is negative 1/3. One negative makes the whole thing negative. Again, emphasizing again, it doesn't matter which ones. Do you want me to do it again and call these the 2's and those the 1's? Just to show that it works, but that just puts you to sleep.
I feel like we've done this
We have,
Oh, over here I thought this was going to be.
but this is.
I thought it was like
We
a stream.
did
We did do it last year? At what point?
Was it last year?
We also did it.
we didn't have it.
Even grades, I just want you to appreciate it once you understood it. So here's what your homework will look like then. Let's do problem number 10. First thing I would do, ladies and gentlemen, is, and I'll do it opposite way just because, you should probably stay consistent, so I will. I'm going to call this x, y, x, y. Just because this is the first point given, I always put the 1's there and the 2's there. You don't want to just keep mixing things up or whatever, but please, 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 please make sure you write down the parentheses. Slope is going to equal parenthesis minus parenthesis over parenthesis minus parenthesis. Y's are always the top ones. If you're going to go wrong, it's a lot of times you get these all mixed up. Y2 is negative 6. Y1 apparently is a 19. X2, negative 5. X1, negative 10. So when you figure out the slope there, you've got negative 6 minus 19, which is a negative 25. Negative 5 minus a negative 10 is actually negative 5 plus 10. So that ends up being 5. So your slope is going to be negative 5. Stop me there if that does not make no sense to you. Just gotta take your time and fill it in the thing right. Other parts are going to be this. They're going to ask you what's the slope of that. That should not be too hard. Madison Lowen's slope is negative 1/4. And up here you actually have to do draw the triangle thing and do the slope. Shall I go any farther, or do you feel that you are well on your way to things? You can answer at any point.